Would you ever sign a prenup?
Yeah.
What if he was a multimillionaire?
In that case, no.
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon, and here's why.
Is this a prenup?
I don't want you to freak out. I'll be right back.
A woman that feels entitled to your money isn't a woman you want to marry. She's got other plans.
Here's why I think prenup should be mandatory.
Is asking to sign a prenup considered insulting, and if so, why?
Yeah, because you got a preconception that the relationship's not going to be working.
My boyfriend asked for a prenup and I feel offended and sad. What would you do?
Feelings are irrelevant. Marriage is a man's biggest decision. Protect yourself at all times. Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it is our sole form of support. Thank you.
If someone is a millionaire and successful for years before they met their partner and their partner is like a minimum wage worker, I do think it's valid, man or woman with the money, to request a prenup to protect their legacy.
I am just a woman. I just want you to text me and say, hey, I miss you. I've been thinking about you and I want to see you. Let me come see you. You bring light into my soul. Is that too much to ask? A little bit of romance? I've been romanticizing my life forever. I'm tired.
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon, and here's why. A man who wants you to sign a prenup just says that he's preparing for the worst. Preparing for in case it doesn't work out, I want you to have nothing. It also says, I don't trust you. I don't believe that you really want me and love me for me. It says, I believe you only want me from what you can financially gain. Another reason why you don't want to sign one of these things is simply because if he wants you to sign one, he's more than likely not going to give it his all. He's more than likely going to be ready to walk out of that door every time something hits the fan.
Tell me, what do men gain from being married that's worth losing half their stuff over? Fellas, she is the reason why you should always get a prenup. If someone already has money and they get married, that is their money, not yours. Sign it, or I will lace your shoes up for you so you can run. Women file for divorce 70% of the time. Don't let Precious take your money. She can have what's in the refrigerator, not the bank account. If a man asks his woman to sign a prenup and she refuses, he should start running. I don't know where she got the idea that asking for a prenup means he's preparing for the worst, but that's simply not true. A man requesting a prenup is not doubting the relationship. He's just protecting himself in case things go south. In today's world, with the way modern relationships are, it's almost foolish not to consider protecting your assets. Modern women aren't like the women of the past. Nowadays, there are far too many women who are on the hunt for the man with the biggest wallet they can find, and the moment they secure that, their motives come into question. It's not about love anymore, it's about what he can provide. A man has to be cautious because if the relationship doesn't work out, the legal system is still heavily skewed in favor of women, and that could mean losing half of everything he's built, or more.
Here's why women regret divorce more than men. Financially speaking, women's lives get worse after the divorce, while men's get better. The standard of living for women goes down an average of 27%, while the standard of living for men goes up 10%. So you can see why women may feel that their lives get worse after divorce because their standards of living go down while their ex-husband's standard of living goes up.
Is this a prenup?
I don't want you to freak out. I'll be right back. I'm going to call my mom. Just read it over, okay? Just have an open mind.
You okay? Hey, we're getting married this week. I'm in shock right now. Like, this cannot be normal, right?
It's a tough situation.
It's the week of our wedding.
Call your mom.
Call my mom. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Hey, just sign it. We're talking about so much money.
Eric, I understand that, but this is the week of our wedding.
Look, you're either going to sign it or you're not going to sign it. Like, this is ridiculous that you're not even thinking about me. No, this is absolutely ridiculous. Hey, the wedding's off.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Didn't know him to act like that. He's never done anything like this. I'm gonna go get a tissue from the bathroom, okay? I'll be right back.
She's crying because if she signs it, she gets no money from it. Good man, well done. These women are cold. Protect yourself. I would highly recommend not to get married. It really is not worth the risk. Women will ruin your life and will take everything from you. Any girl who refuses to sign a prenup or makes a big deal over it is a red flag. If women don't care about the money, they wouldn't mind signing it. If the relationship is truly built on love, he'll make sure you're good, even through divorce. If you paid attention, she didn't even bother reading the prenup. Maybe it was a little surprise for her since he presented it a week before their wedding, but overall, that man made the right call. There's no reason why this woman should be crying because he asked her to sign a prenup. One thing you always see in these cases is that the woman always gets comforted, while the man gets to look like the bad guy.
I don't think you should get a prenup if you're getting married. Because what are you preparing for? Why are you preparing for it not to work? So a prenup is basically documents saying, if we don't work out, you can't take my money, I can't take yours. But why is there a if we break up before you even get married? You know what I mean? Why are you thinking if we? Do you not think it will work? Like, what is it? Because it's not screaming 100% trust. It's screaming, I have a backup plan just in case. But just in case what? Just in case what? Should a prenup be a thing if you trust your person and you know for sure this is who I want to marry?
The only thing this screams is that this woman is naive when it comes to understanding what a prenup is really about. She claims it's preparing for the marriage not to work, which is completely false. A prenup is not an indication that you're walking into a marriage expecting it to fail. It's about being responsible and protecting both parties should the unexpected happen. You may love your partner in the moment, but what about later on, 20 years into the marriage? People change and feelings change. What if one party wants to leave the marriage for whatever reason? You have to protect yourself if that time were ever to come. The reality is, modern relationships are more fragile than ever, with divorce rates still high and many marriages falling apart for reasons that didn't exist in the past. Women who resist signing a prenup often don't understand that it's about fairness and security, not about mistrust.
I love how men are like, I'd make you sign a prenup, and I'm like, what makes you think I'd even say yes?
Would you ever sign a prenup?
Yeah.
You would?
I absolutely would. I don't think I could do it without. I want to be able to decide where my assets go if we divorce.
What if he was a multimillionaire?
In that case, no. What? If it's to my advantage, then yes, absolutely a prenup.
So if he was richer than you, then you wouldn't sign it?
Yeah, I guess. I guess I'm a hypocrite.
The double standard is glaring. But you know, at least you have to respect the honesty. This modern woman is a perfect example of why a man must get a prenup when getting married, or better yet, maybe avoid getting married altogether. Her mindset perfectly highlights the problem. She's not interested in love, partnership, or building something together. What it really sounds like is that she's plotting for a big payday. These are the types of women who see marriage as a business transaction, looking for a quick and easy way to cash out on a man's hard work. At least she gave a warning, though. What she's basically saying is, don't marry me if you want to protect your assets, because my real goal is your money. She's a huge red flag.
So you're pro prenup?
Totally pro. Even if you're broke, I believe you should have one because you might have money later. Thank you.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, you know, we're all growing.
I felt the same way. So when I got married, I was like 25, 26, right? Mm-hmm. And at the time, I didn't have any assets. I had like $167 to my name. You know, my most valuable possession was like my CD collection. You know, I didn't have anything. And at the time, I didn't think about my future self.
Let me tell you what my husband says. He says that if a man asks you to sign a prenup, run.
because he's not a provider. Like, he's already keeping something from you, and he's already in that mindset of like trying to protect himself.
It's probably easy for a man to say this if he's never been burned before in divorce. He's got his guard down. He doesn't realize the potential loss he's staring at when he chooses to marry. And it's not about keeping things from you. It's about helping things along in the event of a divorce. I mean, you're already losing your partner. Emotional damage, there's just so much going on. Prenup can make things easier. It's not always about making sure that the other person doesn't get anything. It can be more about keeping things organized. And if the way divorces continue to go, most men will require a prenup. Otherwise, it makes no sense for them to get married. A man is not entitled to give you everything he's worked his ass off for his entire life. Especially because you could end up not being a good wife to him, cheat on him. You shouldn't lose everything after something like that.
If she runs because he asked for a prenup, he dodged a bullet. If you love is conditional from what I provide, then what I provide is conditional. No, he's a provider, and he wants to keep providing for himself if things don't work. Why should he have to give up what he worked for? Divorce courts paint women as the victim and destroy men and their lives. Better to have a prenuptial than lose your entire life. We men need to remember women are not forever. It's just your turn. Stay single and you will have a peaceful, drama-free life.
I saw this woman say that she would not sign a prenup and she would not take a DNA test. And she felt like it was wrong of a man to ask that. And, you know, my question is, aren't you a bit out of order telling your husband what he can and can't ask of you? But we don't want to have that conversation, do we? Seriously, because I thought, you know, if you submit to your husband in all things, like, you know, you say you do, why are you not submitting to his request for a prenup? It's much easier for men to go along with a woman's delusion than fight. And I think many times as women, I mean, we go through life never having someone say that we're just chatting a bunch of shit. Have you ever met a chick that truly believed she was something she wasn't? I mean, and that's what I see with these tradcon women. An example was on Twitter the other day.
Well, the thing is, a man can ask for a prenup, and she has every right to say no, but that's exactly when the man should pack his bags and leave. A woman who refuses to sign a prenup, especially when the man is upfront about it, likely has a hidden motive. They're looking for a financial safety net. A prenup gets in the way of their plans, and the refusal is a strong indicator that she's not there for the right reasons, but rather to see how much she can gain if things fall apart. Let's face it, a woman who truly loves and respects you for who you are would have no issue signing a prenup because she's not there for your money.
Here's why I think prenup should be mandatory. A lot of people falsely think that doing a prenuptial agreement is a plan for a divorce, but it's totally contrary to that. A prenuptial agreement allows you and your partner to set the rules for a divorce if it should happen while you both are in love and on good terms. I know the conversation about a prenuptial agreement may be difficult to have, but it will save you and your partner in the future, and it may even save your marriage. A prenuptial agreement will help you and your partner later down the road, and it'll save you money if you do end up in divorce. I've worked on thousands of cases, and they could have ended much easier if the parties had a prenuptial agreement going into it.
You guys signed a prenup? Well, no, we have nothing of value to lose. And this is our second marriage each, so
yeah. Don't sign nothing.
My boyfriend asked for a prenup and I feel offended and sad. What would you do? What I did, my love, was sign a prenup. I knew my husband would want one and I didn't even make him ask. Right after we got engaged, I said, I bet you want a prenup. And he said, yeah, I do. And I said, no problem. I have nothing against him wanting to ensure what he has created for himself. And that's what a prenup is. It's just insurance. You having insurance on your car doesn't mean you're going to smash it into a pole. You having insurance on your house doesn't mean you're going to burn it down. And a couple having insurance on their assets doesn't mean they're headed for divorce. In today's world, it's okay to protect what you've created. It's okay to have insurance.
This is exactly what a woman sounds like when she isn't after your money. She doesn't make a fuss about it, nor does she cry or throw a tantrum. She understands where her husband is coming from and respects his decision to protect his hard-earned assets. She knew he wanted a prenup and got it done, no questions asked, because her priority is the relationship, not the paycheck. When a woman isn't in it for the money, the prenup doesn't faze her. She's not worried about what she can gain from a potential breakup because her intentions are pure. She's there for love, partnership, and building a future together. If she respects you and what you've worked for, she'll understand that a prenup is just a safeguard for both of you, not an indication that the marriage is doomed. It's the women who make a big deal about it, who resist and complain, that show their true colors. They're the ones more focused on what they can take from you rather than what they can build with you.
If you still think that getting a prenup has anything to do with a lack of trust in your partner, maybe you're mistaken, but that's okay because I didn't know this until I went to law school. So now I'm just going to share what I learned with you. And I'm really surprised this is not widespread knowledge because it should be. Getting a prenup actually has everything to do with a lack of trust in your government. And here's why. We can actually compare a prenup to a will in the sense that you either draft your own will or the government will use the one that they already drafted. You feel me? In the same sense, it's not about whether you want a prenup or you don't want a prenup. It's a matter of which prenup do you want? The one that you drafted, that you agree with, that you think is fair, or in the instance of death or divorce, the one that the government already drafted. It's up to you. Now, if you think that your government will do an efficacious job at dividing your assets and making sure that your loved ones are provided for in the instance of death or divorce, then by all means, fuck a prenup. However, if you do experience some distrust in the way that the government does things and has done things through the course of your life, you should probably get a prenup.
If you meet a man and he wants you to sign a prenup, don't walk away from him. Run. And I want you to run like you're running a marathon. Y'all remember when I posted that video? Don't remember? Go back and watch it. And yes, I turned the comments off because the way y'all were trying to cook me in those comments was insane. And that's mainly because a lot of y'all don't have the intelligence to have a simple conversation without insulting someone. And that's okay. That's fine. I get it. However, since then, I talked to my fave, and he kind of gave me his perspective on why it makes sense to sign a prenup. And now that I have that understanding, I probably would consider signing it. However, I still think it's a sign of distrust. I said what I said, I'm not backing down, and it is what it is.
Well, damn, I thought she had finally came to her senses. But nonetheless, those comments were insulting you with facts, madam, and with the benefits of getting a prenup. Prenups aren't about not trusting your spouse or planning for divorce, like these women keep claiming. If they don't think prenups are important, then they might as well revoke their car insurance, right? After all, car insurance isn't about expecting to get into an accident. It's about being prepared for the unexpected. Life is unpredictable, and just like you wouldn't drive without insurance, you shouldn't enter a lifelong partnership without a safety net in place. Having a prenup doesn't mean you don't believe in your relationship. It means you're smart enough to acknowledge that things can change.